months ago, myself and 3 other guys went to the Cambridge University Hackathon and designed this tool, which is aimed to reduce medication mistakes. Now, I'll explain exactly how the tool works later on in the video, but at the hackathon, we won an award from the Arm Technologies, and we were then invited to present our idea at the Arm Technologies headquarters in Cambridge, UK. So today's video is sharing our experiences with that presentation, as well as some thoughts about developing technology for healthcare. So we arrived at the headquarters around 10 or so in the morning. We were shown into a room where we started to set up our equipment, ready for the presentation. They brought in some free donuts, and perhaps foolishly I decided to grab one because I later had to eat it pretty quickly before we started our presentation. Then the presentation started. There were about 10 to 15 people in the room, and there was also people watching on video, about 10 or 15 more, I believe.
End of January in Cambridge, there was this hackathon that was organized by the University of Cambridge. And we were able to award this prize to team The Pill Detector. Here we have Chris, Sanji, and Shuri, and they're going to tell us what they did in the 24 hours and what the technology they used in their final solution.
Okay, so as Liu said, our product was called The Pill Detector.
And then for the presentation, we walked them through something called a slide deck, which is something that's quite common in technology. I think originated from Silicon Valley. And essentially, it's a series of slides which explains a concept in a well-structured way. A slide deck can be a really useful thing to develop at an early stage when you're thinking of an idea, because it forces you to think of your idea in a structured way, which really helps you to solidify your idea. And also it comes in handy because you often end up giving a lot of different presentations, whether that's to other colleagues or investors or anybody else. And the idea is that it develops over time, so as the idea evolves, you might want to update your slide deck. So I personally, whenever I think of a new idea, I tend to just try and put it into a slide deck. Usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and then that can be a useful reference for the future. If I decide to present it to someone, I can just show them through that slide deck, and if I decide to take it further, I can always improve that. A pretty standard layout for a slide deck, and the layout that we used in our presentation, is to start by talking about the problem, then talk about existing solutions, and then talk about your solution and why that's better than the alternatives. So basically the way that our tool works is there's an Amazon Alexa which recognizes the command, "Is this my pill?" When it hears that, it sends a message to a Raspberry Pi, which is a type of mini computer. And that Raspberry Pi sends a signal to a webcam to take a picture. That picture is then fed back to the Raspberry Pi, which runs the picture through a machine learning model, which we trained, which recognizes exactly what type of pill it is. It then looks at the medication record for the individual patient, and it checks whether that pill is a medication that they should be taking at that moment. This is then fed back to the Alexa, which, depending on whether or not it's the right pill for the patient to be taking at that time, will either say, "No, that is not the correct pill, that is in fact a X," or it will say, "Yes, that is the correct pill, can you please confirm when you take the pill?" Then after you take the pill and you say that you've taken it, the Alexa will then say, "Thank you, we'll now store that in your medication record for your doctor." At least that's how the tool works in theory. Actually, in our presentation, things didn't go entirely smoothly.
Alexa, pill detector.
I'm not sure.
Alexa, pill detector.
Or
A doctor is usually defined as a person licensed surgeon.
Alexa, stop.
Everyone was just joking about this, how it's not a real demo if everything goes right.
Well, geez, I don't like this. I'm afraid I have a problem and I'm not going to be able to show you much here today.
We then resorted to a backup where we bypassed Alexa by typing directly in what we were supposed to be saying rather than waiting for her to recognize what we were saying. And once we typed the commands in, then it worked as we wanted.
I'm writing pill detector in the chat with Alexa.
Welcome to the Pill Detector app. How can I help you today?
Now I would ask, is this my pill? But I'm going to type, is this my pill?
That is an Orthlox, the correct pill. Can you confirm that you took it?
Then if you said yes.
Great. This information was stored for your doctor.
All in all, the presentation went very well. They seemed to like it. We got a lot of positive feedback, and they asked quite a lot of questions at the end, which I think is a good sign. And someone did slide us their card with a contact email on the back, and we then got in touch with them about potentially taking things further. After the presentation, they then showed us around the ARM headquarters, and they showed us a lot of the cool technologies that they're working on.
This is a device that, so if you ship this device with your goods, monitor the temperature and movement all the way along the way to make sure your goods haven't been spoiled in high temperature, for example.
It was alright. We got asked a lot of questions and we answered all of them. Yeah. So I think we did well.
People were interested, so
yeah,
it's really cool to see a lot of tech people asking us questions about what we did. So it was nice. It was nice.
I handed a little note saying, did a great job. We are ready to buy your product now, so.
Yeah. So we're taking advance orders right now. Yeah.
And after that, we went to the pub, had a drink, and I forced the other guys to share some thoughts about hackathons.
Go to hackathons. Go to hackathons and make a project. Something that you enjoy.
You meet new people. I literally didn't have anyone in that hackathon that I went to, and I met Sadi. I just dropped him a message. He was gracious enough to accept me in his team.
Yeah, you meet a lot of very interesting people, like-minded. If you're into tech and all that stuff, you usually learn something new like every hackathon. I mean, it's never a waste of time. If it's like if your pitch fails, if your demo fails, you still got free food. So I mean, just go.
I took like 5 to 6 t-shirts back home. So. Absolutely. You actually learn coding on the go. You learn a lot of things, not just coding. You have to present your product. You have to sell it in a way that it entices people into it. So you learn not just the coding part, but even if you're a good coder, you learn a lot about how to present it.
I have seen people that did not know how to write a line of code, go to a hackathon, and of course, it's just 36 hours or something. You're not gonna learn how to code from scratch or something like that. You might learn a thing or two, but that usually sparks the interest in you to actually follow that up and become someone that you know how to build stuff with your code, you know how to make things work and all. So yeah, definitely was.
So all in all, it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun. I learned a huge amount. If you're curious about coding, then I would definitely recommend hackathons. I agree with all of the reasons my friends mentioned. And if you haven't seen it already, check out part 1 of this video. I'll share a link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.